So today I'm at Hollingworth Lake. Hollingworth Lake. A popular Lancashire tourist attraction, which has been attracting people since 1840, would you believe? Now, unlike most man-made reservoirs, this wasn't built to supply drinking water. This was constructed to supply water for the newly built Rochdale canal. It sits on 130 acres. 130 acres. It's about 10 feet deep, and in some parts it reaches 25 feet deep. Pretty amazing. And it was built in 1800, and then around about 1840 it started attracting tourists. Thanks to this, the Walsden Tunnel. Completed in 1841, it was the longest railway tunnel in the world, as Jeremy Clarkson would say. And it's 1.6 miles long. 1.6 miles. And it goes in a horseshoe shape apparently. So this brought traffic from Leeds, Manchester, Bradford, which brought all the tourists to Hollingworth Lake. And it cost a staggering £251,000 to build back in 1841, which by today's standards is £21 million or thereabouts. It was a higher price than that though. Sadly, 41 people died building it. 41 people. Can you imagine that by today's standards? If 41 people died constructing something today, there'd be an outcry. But yeah, so that's it, Walsden Tunnel. It's popular ever since it was built, but in 1840, when the railway came, that's when it started getting really popular. Now you can see there's a massive black cloud coming over, it's absolutely going to lash it down, but I'm hoping it's going to dry up and be nice and bright later. But right now it's looking very ominous. Ooh. Normally, behind me you'll see some boats. You'll be able to hire them for about a tenner. That starts for a rowing boat, which is about £10 for half an hour. And then there's also mini paddle steamers, or paddle boats, not steamers, paddle boats. And you can hire them as well. Unfortunately, due to the wonderful COVID crisis that's going on right now, you can't hire anything because all the water activities have ceased, apart from the rowing club. So with the rail bringing in tourists from Manchester, Leeds and Bradford, the lake grew in popularity, and by 1860 it was firmly established as a popular Victorian tourist attraction, with hotels popping up all around the lake, fairground rides and amusements. There was also fortune tellers, shysters, charlatans. It was a proper Victorian stomping ground. And the lake became known as the Waver's Seaport, and I have no idea why. Just behind me here, on the eastern shore of the lake, once stood the Lake Hotel and Pleasure Gardens. And it was quite an impressive hotel, built in a Swiss style. Had its own outdoor dance floor, which a lot of the hotels had back in them days. They all had massive outdoor dance floors. And it was demolished, unfortunately. I'm not actually sure when, I can't find any dates on it. And it had its own bowling green, its own croquet lawn, not something that we use these days. shrubberies and rustic arbours. And all that's left is a little ice cream parlour, slightly overpriced as well. But hey, I'll drop you a picture and show you what it was like. Obviously, I think it must have had a marina as well, because there was 3 ways to reach it by a horse and carriage. Or walking, like we are now.
Thank you.
Or cycling, I guess, like that guy. Or by paddle steamer. Much like that one. There was 2 that operated on the lake. I've got a funny feeling though, they would look different to that one. But I've got to confess, I have always wanted to go on a genuine paddle steamer. Just something charming about them, isn't there? Now, I would go for a ride on it. Unfortunately, due to the COVID crisis, all the boating activities have been ceased. Apart from the rowing club, obviously, we're practicing. Yeah. A beautiful place, though. Very tranquil. So there you go. Unfortunately, it's not there now, like I said. The only 2 hotels remaining now are the beach and the fish. This isn't quite original though, because this burnt down and was probably rebuilt in 1901. There you go. Still a nice looking pub though. And as you can imagine, it gets absolutely rammed during summer. Okay, thank you. So here is a nice little bird hide. It's probably a proper name for it, but I don't know what it is. Spy on the birds. A couple over there, a couple of black ones. As you can see, I am not a bird watcher, or a twitcher as they like to be known. Across there we can see a few seagulls, and are they seagulls? I don't know, could be. Now that one I do know, just there, bobbing in the water, we can see the lesser spotted Coca-Cola bottle. A very rare bird, seldom seen in these waters. Now that was just showing off, that wasn't it? Even though the water level isn't that high, I always respect them signs. I know of far too many people who've lost their lives through not respecting them signs. It's just not worth it. Now, I can tell you now, the water isn't actually that bad today, but it can be freezing, which is another reason not to go swimming in there. Now, even though that sign says no swimming, let me tell you a story about Captain Webb. So, who was Captain Webb, I hear you ask? Well, Captain Matthew Webb was the first person to swim the English Channel back in 1875 at the ripe old age of 27. And this is where he used to practice. So obviously they didn't have any no swimming signs back then. He used to swim across the lake to practice. And he completed the channel swim in 22 hours. Swimming 40 miles, because the channel's actually 20 miles across and he zigzagged. So if you've actually done it in a straight line, it took him half the time. And 7 years later, keen to emulate his success of swimming the channel and to remain famous, he attempted to swim these, the Niagara Falls Rapids, a Class 6 rapid which has been deemed unswimmable, and anybody who attempts it is on a suicide mission. But it didn't stop him, and he tried it and sadly passed away. At the ripe old age of 35, he died trying to swim the Niagara Falls Rapids. There you go, Captain Webb. Now, if you look at the lake, you can see where the water levels dropped, and it's dropped quite sufficiently, as you can see, because all this should be underwater. In 1934, it dropped so low that it nearly dried up, and you could see barns and farm buildings in the middle of the lake, which hadn't been visible since 1800 when the lake was filled. Right now, just enjoying watching people rowing. Got a lot more stamina than I have.
Sorry, mate.
That's alright, don't worry. Unfortunately, however, during the early 1900s, tourism at the old lake began to decline, due partly to travelling to other areas. The infrastructure of travel became a lot better, so people started moving further afield. And also the war broke out in 1914, the First World War. And this campsite you see here was actually used as a training ground by the Manchester Regiment. It was like literally tents everywhere. Obviously the motorway bridge wasn't there then. But yeah, so they all practiced here before they stormed the beaches at Edale, I think it was. Fortunately, however, a lot of them never returned because they got slaughtered at the beaches. Sad. Just behind me here, you can see a pub called the Wine Press. Now, the Wine Press is very popular with bikers. On a sunny day, you can see absolutely loads of them there. They flock to the place. And it's a good place to hang out, really. So, there you go. That was my little jolly round Hollingworth Lake for you. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I'm going to chill here and watch the sun go down. But thanks for watching, guys, and if you haven't already, subscribe, give a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you're thinking, suggest some places to visit. You know, I want to travel everywhere, so give me some ideas. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Adioskis, and I'll see you next time. But what's left there now is a refreshment kind of boutique. Oh, trying to ring me a minute. The wine press. And popular place with bikers. On a sunny day you can absolutely see